Today I'm excited to be drawing a character that I've wanted to draw for a long time. A character that has been around for some time in the comics but is now finally getting recognized beyond just the comic book world. We're going to be drawing Oh wait, comics! Hey, I have all of these comics. Come here. Come check this out. Come here. Look at this. Look, I just gotta get it in. Okay, my rest is fine. Let's check over here to the desk and just move it on. Okay. Alright. Cool. Alright. Today we're drawing... Okay, so I wasn't just showing off my comics. I'm using these omnibuses as research for my art today, so I'll be flipping through as many pages of awesomeness to find poses and movements that make sense for Invincible. As I sketch his pose, I'm looking for shapes and features that play into his silhouette so he's easily recognizable. This is a key part for character drawing. You don't want them looking stiff or lifeless, but you also don't want their limbs blocking off their logos or any other key features of this character. This is why Batman's ears are never hidden. The silhouette needs to be iconic. The same principle applies here, even though Invincible's design is a little more subtle. At this point I had a pose that I liked, but I didn't like how it sat on the page. Invincible looked too out in space, so I hopped over to Clip Studio Paint and to pose out a 3D figure. After fiddling around a little bit, I decided to add another character to balance things out, Atom Eve. Her floating pose complements Invincible's strong downward motion, and it overall just makes the composition really nice. Okay, so with the posing done, it's time to sketch out... Very funny. You'll notice that I never fully follow the 3D model reference, and that's intentional. While these models are super helpful for visualizing tricky poses, the anatomy isn't always spot on. They're often built more for anime or manga physique, which can be, let's say, less realistic. Not to knock on anime or manga characters, some of them have some pretty amazing anatomy, but a lot of times it's more stylized than what we're going for in this piece. Which, again, works for that genre, but not necessarily everything. Anyway, now that we've nailed down the anatomy and the structure, let's move on to inking, starting with Atom Eve. You thought you'd catch me, didn't you? I'll be honest, I'm not super thrilled with how these lines turned out for Atom Eve. They're not bad, but I usually like to take my time and sketch everything out on paper before going digital. Roughing things out in a sketchbook really helps me figure things out before I go to the no mistakes allowed zone with digital inking. Still, I don't think I did too terribly, I just, I'm picky. Eve's line work needs to balance showing her graceful pose while also capturing her muscles and suit details. Every line's weight and sharpness needs to be different for these elements, which is why some people don't prefer line work in their art.
People! I ain't people!
Okay, old movie references aside, it's time that I wrap up the inking for our heroine and get to inking... Stop! Invincible's lines will be chunkier around the silhouette and thinner when defining his suit details. His costume's pretty simple, so it's more about keeping his iconic look sharp and clean. Fun fact, most superheroes wear skin-tight suits because it's easier for comic artists to draw human anatomy and slap on a few lines for gloves, boots, and masks, rather than deal with folds and textures and other things that come with normal clothing. I wish somebody told me that before I designed my comic book characters. Moving on to flat colors, and it's ladies first. Atom Eve's suit is basically pinks and more pinks, and yeah, it's all pinks. It's just a lot of pink. All right, now we're ready to go to the more flashy and fun colors of... Are you gonna do it? We talked about this. You don't need to do it every time I say NO! As usual, I'm laying down the lightest and darkest of the base color. Then I'm adding highlights and shadows as flat colors. This way I can set the tone of the colors before diving into rendering. Finally, we head over to Photoshop for some background elements. Now time for the grand reveal, complete with epic superhero music.
Oh, what's the matter? You done already?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can catch more of my work. And now, oh come on!